Hey guys, what's going on? So, as most of you may or may not know, I'm right now in the middle of a 30-day calisthenics challenge. I actually just finished up with day 15, so I'm halfway through that challenge. The challenge is 30 days straight of 100 pull ups, 100 push ups, and 100 squats per day for the duration of that 30 days. So, right from the get go, I made it clear that this challenge was basically a supplement in addition to the workouts and the routines that I normally do. I wasn't looking to replace anything, wasn't looking to alter anything. I just wanted to keep doing what I normally do, but add on these reps every day for the 30 days. And to date, I have been able to do that. I haven't altered anything, any of my routines in any way, shape, or form. So over the course of the past several weeks, since I started, I've gotten quite a few questions, some comments and messages. Basically just people saying, hey, what do your workouts look like? What type of routines do you have going? How often do you work out? So what I decided to do was start recording some of my workouts. And I actually started on a Monday, which was the 7th day of the challenge. And I recorded every one of my workouts straight through until that Sunday, which was the 13th day of the challenge. So if you're interested and you stick around, I will go through every one of those days, every one of the workouts on each of the days, and I'll also give you the exact exercises that I did along with the set and rep schemes. But first, I wanted to go through a few of really what I call my hard and fast rules, some rules that I follow every day. Certainly not 100%. I don't claim to be. I think you should stay far away from anybody that claims to be 100% when it comes to anything in life. At least that's my opinion. But these are just some of the rules that I follow that I hope, at least to date, have kept me relatively healthy. And I can say with a reasonable amount of certainty that by doing the things that I do, following these rules that I have for myself, it keeps me going, and it allows me to keep the schedule that I have and do the workouts that I do and do everything that I do just on a day-to-day basis. So first and foremost, we'll get this one out of the way right off the bat. I don't do drugs, any type of drugs. I've never done any type of performance-enhancing drugs. I don't do them now, and I'll never do them. That includes TRT, any type of exogenous hormones, or anything like that. I think that fact might, hurt some of the internet trolls out there, but I don't know what else to say about it other than I don't do it and I will never do it. Number two is I eat a relatively whole food diet, as whole as I can. I stay away from processed foods. I stay away from sugar, wheat products, and things like that. I found a way of eating that I think optimizes my performance, that makes me feel good. I don't shit on anybody else's way of eating. If you have a way of eating and you feel it's keeping you healthy and you're performing to the best of your abilities, then I think you should go with it. We're all different in some ways, but I think we can all agree that regardless of what type of diet you follow, whether it's carnivore or vegan or paleo or anything that you choose, I think we can all agree that it really should be a whole food based diet. This next one I've struggled with my whole life. I worked a career in law enforcement and I worked several, extra jobs, and I always worked shift work, and I never really had a set sleep schedule. And like I said, I struggled with that for years and years, and I think it really took a toll on my health. These days I do strive to get a minimum of 7 hours of sleep. I'm pretty good with it now. And I think that it affects your health in a big, big way. So if I could suggest that to anybody, I think that you really should try and regulate your sleep schedules. And for me, I find that 7 hours is pretty much a sweet spot. And when it comes to working out, exercise, just fitness in general, my goals aren't, when I was a younger guy, and I think most young guys, you ask them, and the first two things off the top of their head, why do you work out? And it's going to be because I want to be big, I want to be strong. Now, anybody that tells you that vanity doesn't come into play when you're working out, of course you want to look good. But at this point in my life, a few months shy of 60, my main goal right now is to maintain a reasonable amount of strength, maintain a reasonable amount of muscle mass, be overall functionally fit, and at all costs to avoid injury. Now, on the subject of avoiding injury, I've had several comments where people make they'll talk about overtraining. Are you overdoing it? Are you doing too much? When we talk about overtraining, too much exercise, even on the other end of the spectrum, too little exercise. it's an extremely subjective topic, so it's different for everybody. And I think the term overtraining in itself is just, for lack of a better term, just a buzzword that people throw around. They see somebody working out, they'll throw that word out, well, he's overtraining. And I think, obviously, it is a real thing where you can overdo it, you can tax your central nervous system, you can get to the point where you wear your body down and you are susceptible to injury. I think that's a reality. But it all depends on what you're doing, how often you do it, the intensity to which you do it, and are you doing it correctly? And to be blunt, looking around society today, I think the last thing that we need to worry about as a society is people overtraining. I definitely don't see that as a pressing issue in the world today. So at the end of the day, I've been doing, I've been exercising for the better part of my life since even before I was 18 years old. So the better part of 40 some odd years. At this point, I know my body. I know my body extremely well. So I know how I feel. I know my limitations, both physical and mental, and I stay within those parameters. And I'm certainly not that arrogant where I would disregard any signs where if I thought to myself, hey, you are overdoing it, or there might be something wrong, I would stop and back off in a second. With that out of the way, we'll get to the workouts. Let's start on Monday. Again, this was the 7th day of the challenge. So I actually started off with a yoga routine. This was about a 35 to 40 minute routine that I did. I do yoga on a semi-regular basis. I try to get it in at least 3 days a week or so. I started yoga probably about 8 or 9 months ago, and it really has helped me in so many different ways, as far as flexibility and mobility and, when it comes to range of motion, doing just normal day-to-day workouts and just normal day-to-day movements. So we did the yoga, and then later in the day we did the challenge. And being Monday, International Chest Day, I decided to go with a chest and tricep routine. So later in the day, we got into our chest and tricep routine, and I started off the routine with a dumbbell incline chest press. And I did a total of 6 sets, and I did progressive sets. My rep counts for the 6 sets were 15 reps, 12, 10, and then 10, 12, 15. So as the rep count went down, the weight went up a little bit. And I did a superset with those chest presses. After each chest press, set of presses, I went into a set of 10 parallel bar dips. After the incline dumbbell chest press, I moved over to some close grip dumbbell presses. And with those presses, I did 4 sets of 10 reps. And again, I supersetted with sets of 10 parallel bar dips. After the close grip presses, I went to just a standard flat dumbbell bench press. There I did 5 sets of 10 reps. And again, I supersetted with the parallel bar dips. And I finished up the routine with 5 sets of 20 standard push-ups. And again, it was supersetted with 10 parallel bar dips. So the next day was Tuesday, and that was day 8 of the challenge. And on that day, I did the challenge at the gym. And following that challenge, I went right into a back and bicep workout. I started off with close grip cable pull downs, and I did 10 sets of 10 for a total of 100 reps. After those pull downs, I went onto the pull-up station and I did 100 reps of knee raises. No particular rep scheme there. I just got up and did as many as I could do, came down for a 30-second rest and got back up, and I finished off with 100 reps. From there, I moved over to a seated pull-down machine. And on this machine, you have the option of using a pronated grip or a neutral grip. I used both. I did 10 sets of 10 pull-downs. And for 5 sets, I used a pronated overhand grip. And for 5 sets, I used a neutral grip. From that machine, I went over to the dumbbells and I did 100 dumbbell curls. And that was done in 10 sets of 10. And with each set consisted of 5 standard curls, and then I switched to 5 hammer curls. And I did, again, 10 sets like that. And it gave me a total of what amounted to 50 standard bicep curls and 50 hammer curls. I finished the day there with some dead hangs from the pull-up bar, and I did a total of 5 hangs, and that was for 60 seconds, then 50, 40, 30, and 20 seconds consecutively. And I rested anywhere between 30 to 60 seconds in between each dead hang. Okay, so we're on to Wednesday, which was day 9 of the challenge. Prior to doing the challenge that day, I did a full body yoga routine. To be honest with you guys, I've been doing it for some months now, but I still find yoga extremely challenging. But again, it's helped me so much with my range of motion while exercising. It helps with my recovery, definitely with my flexibility and mobility. So highly recommended. So we're on to Thursday, which was day 10 of the challenge. And I headed to the gym for a leg routine. I started on the leg press machine, the plate-loaded press machine. And I did a total of 100 reps with no particular rep scheme. I just went on and did sets of however many I could do with each set until I got up to 100. I supersetted that each set with a set of seated calf raises. And each set of calf raises was anywhere between the 10 and 20 rep range. Then I moved over to the dumbbells and I did some dumbbell squats, where I did 5 sets of 10 reps with the dumbbell squats. And again, I supersetted those squats with the seated calf raise. After that, I went to some stiff-legged deadlifts with the dumbbells. Again, I went for 5 sets of 10 reps and also supersetted that once again with the seated calf raises. And I finished the routine with some seated leg extensions, where I did 10 sets of 10 reps for a total of 100 reps. So now we're on to Friday, which was day 11 of the challenge, where I did another yoga routine. This one was more specific to the hips and hamstrings after doing the leg routine on Thursday. And I find it really helps with the hip. I think most of us would say that we have tight hamstrings and hips, and I find this routine to be really beneficial. So on to Saturday, which was day 12 of the challenge, and again I hit the gym and I did some shoulder work, and I started off with the wall handstand push-up, or at least my version of the wall handstand push-up, and I supersetted those with some rear shoulder flies on the pec deck machine. From there, I went over and did some barbell shrugs, one of the rare occasions these days that I actually touch a barbell, but I did 10 sets of 10 barbell shrugs. Then back to the dumbbells, where I went for dumbbell shoulder presses standing. And again, with those, I did 10 sets of 10 for a total of 100 reps. And then I finished the day there with 5 sets of 10 straight bar dips. So now we're on to Sunday, which was day 13 of the challenge. And generally on Sunday mornings, I jump over to the Gain Bros channel. A link will be down in the description, where we have a weekly podcast called Get Fit, Talk Shit. Again, the link will be down below. This week we had a special guest by the name of Chris Shawarma. And Chris is a burpee official. Well, actually, he's much more than burpees, a very interesting guy. But he stopped by the podcast. Chris actually did a similar challenge to what I'm doing last week, but he fashioned it. He did it last year. And he fashioned it to where he did 1 pull-up, 1 push-up, and 1 squat 100 times. We decided to do that workout on Sunday morning. So like I said, anything that I do is not going to alter or replace my normal workouts. And in essence, I wound up doing the challenge twice that day because I did it that morning. Then I was off to the park where I did the challenge with my friend Lenny. I have a couple of videos with Lenny. I'll leave links down in the description. Lenny and I did the challenge that day. And following the challenge, we finished up with 5 sets of parallel bar dips, 5 sets of neutral grip inverted rows, and 5 sets of static lunges on each leg for 10 reps. That was the week. That's exactly what I did. That's how I did it. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. We're going to keep up with the challenge. I will be posting every day just to give you guys updates. So we'll see how it goes. Get your reps in. I appreciate you guys watching. Everybody have a good day, and we will talk to you in the next one. Thanks, guys.